Welcome to The Losing Streak, a sports gambling podcast for those who just can't seem to win. My name is Bozo Bill, and I'm here with my co-host, Automatic Austin.
What's up, everybody?
Let's get right into it. We killed the NHL last week on our last episode. I edited out a bad pick that I didn't like, and all the other ones won. So what can I say? We are excellent NHL cappers now.
Yeah, which is honestly surprising. And yeah, we went back and we saw we won every pick, and we were like, "What the heck?" That's pretty funny. So maybe we'll give NHL a little bit of a brighter look coming forward.
How did our college basketball go last episode?
I honestly can't remember. It's been a minute.
I know. I hit Austin P. They actually won. I didn't even bet it, but that was a good pick.
I know 2 nights ago I hit my gold star bet with Kentucky, and then last night I chose Detroit, and it was a really good game. I thought they were going to pull it out, but they ended up losing by 3. It was a really close game. It was a really good game. I'm really glad I watched it, but yeah, just couldn't pull it out for us, but we'll get them next time.
What was the spread on that?
I tweeted out +1.5, and they lost by 3. So
yeah, it happens. I was hedging the Utah Utah UCLA game late last night, and they clearly covered on the just nonsense free throws at the end. But when they called the foul,
I saw that. Did you send that to me, or did I see it by myself?
Just probably on Twitter. But yeah, so someone got right at the foul at the end. And you see like the sports manager behind the Utah bench give a little like fist pump, so you know he had the +7.5.
Oh, really? I didn't see that part.
Because no one else cared about that except for people betting on the game.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, free throws. And then didn't he miss the first one? So then Gullah came out the last free throw.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Ridiculous. All right. So moving to things this weekend, we got the Jake Paul fight coming up tomorrow night. Well, I guess tonight when you're listening to this episode. You know how I feel on it, so I'll just say it. The only interesting about this fight is both New York and New Jersey state regulators are not allowing people to bet on it in New York and New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah, they think there's suspicious activity, which, as I talk to you, outside of the podcast, but I'll say it again here, the guys that Tommy Fury has fought, I think his 4 knockouts, they have a combined record of like 0-63 or something. So the people he's knocked out have never won a boxing fight in their whole career. And he's only had like the last 2 fights he had were against people that had ever like pretty much had any wins of significance. So yeah, I really think Jake Paul, I'm not going to say it's rigged, but he definitely picked this knowing that he can knock this guy out. And I feel like that's probably going to happen.
So you're saying bet Jake Paul knockout?
Yeah, Jake Paul knockout, or I think it's like I think they go 6 rounds. I don't remember what the rounds, but whatever the over under is on the rounds, definitely take the under. And to show my dedication to this fight, tomorrow I'm going to make a day trip up to Greenwich, Connecticut, which is like the closest place, and then place a bet there because Connecticut does allow you to bet on the fight.
Wow, we have some dedication.
I hate Jake Paul, but this seems pretty obvious he's going to win this fight. So I'll probably hedge it with some money lines. I think it's almost up to -200 now, maybe like 190.
Yeah, I was looking yesterday, and it was when you told me about it, and yeah, I think it was -190.
Okay, so I'll probably do some on that, but then hedge it with, or not hedge it, but just kind of do like a percentage of it on the knockout, because I know that's paying better odds. So that way, if he wins by decision, I'll still make some money. But if he gets knocked out, then I'll be chilling.
Exactly. Yeah.
How do you feel? Do you feel the same way about the fight?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really funny that the New York and New Jersey aren't letting people bet on it. But yeah, I mean, the odds are telling you that Paul's going to win, and he seems to only pick people that he knows he can beat. So, I mean, it just seems pretty obvious.
And I think this honestly will be the start of his like real boxing career, because they said that whoever wins this fight, they'll give like an official ranking to, or whatever the boxing federation, whatever the boxing mafia.
Yeah, whoever makes those decisions.
Yeah, but I was listening to some MMA fighters talk about it, like, when he fought Anderson Silva and stuff like that, and they just showed, like, even though to us, like, lay people, we see people, boxing's a part of MMA, but it's really a completely different sport. It would be like putting like a star hockey player like on a lacrosse team. Like, yeah, they've got sticks, it's a similar, but it's not, it's not the same skill
Right.
set.
Yeah.
So that's why he was able to, pull that off against people that were, great MMA fighters, because especially like Anderson Silva, he couldn't do any takedowns. So that's like his bread and butter. He waits to you have a little gap in your punching, and he goes for a takedown. But you can't do that in boxing, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah, obviously.
All right, we'll stop talking about this fight. Let's move on. I know you're looking at some futures for college basketball.
It's getting to that time that it's before values really start to come down. I'm looking more towards like the Final Four odds, but it's the end of February. I think what the conference tourneys are probably in a week and a half.
Yeah, I know I know the Big East one's in 2 weeks because I'll be going to the semifinals. Oh wait, is that next week? That's next.
Well, you got invited, so you know.
Oh yeah, it's March 10th. So the Big East tournament is in 2 weeks. So it's going to be.
But that's the semifinals, right?
Yeah, March 10th is the semifinals. So the 11th will be the finals for the Big East.
So it probably starts like March 8th or something like that, March 9th.
Yeah.
So we have a couple more weeks of regular season, and then we get into conference tourneys. So you really want to start picking your teams that you feel like are gonna make a run. And yeah, I just wanted to go through, I guess, a few teams that I felt like could do that, and maybe get your thoughts and opinions on those teams. So right off the bat, Creighton, I got at plus 650. I think they're one of the sleeper teams. They're good defensively and offensively. I've watched them a ton this year. They're starting five. Anybody on that starting five can score at any point. So it's just really fun watching them play. And out of the Big East, I'm not really too big on UConn. I know they started off really hot, but once they got on the conference play, they really started to come back down to earth. Xavier's a good story, but their best player got hurt, so it's just really hard to predict which team out of the Big East is going to go all the way. But I feel like Creighton has the best chance because they're the healthiest, and they've been on the best roll lately, in my opinion.
Yeah, for that Big East tournament, I got the option to go to the finals or the semifinals. So I picked the semifinals day, so I could see 4 of these teams. But Creighton's definitely one that they've got a good shot of getting to the Final Four there. Let me see who else. What about your boys, Marquette?
Yeah, I was thinking about Marquette. I just defensively they're not really that great, and when I look at teams that can make a run in the tourney, I want a team that's also defensively like sound. I can't just get an offensive team like Marquette. So it's just I don't really see the value there with them.
Okay, that makes sense. And looking at like teams like Providence, they look good on paper, but then you look at they're 15-0 at home and then 5-6 on the road. So
right,
that makes it a little harder to win unless they have a home game in the NCAA tournament, which is not happening. So
right, and honestly, this is kind of one that I kind of wanted to pick just because I'm from here, but Arizona at plus 330. It's not the greatest value, but when earlier in the season when it was non-conference play, they pretty much beat everybody. They were smoking teams left and right. So, I mean, they're a team that hasn't done too great conference play, but I mean, the Pac-12 is not that bad this year. So I'm not afraid to pick them at plus 330.
Yeah, and then they beat Creighton at home. They beat San Diego State. They beat who else they beat? They beat Tennessee. Yeah, Arizona's got pretty good resume.
Yeah,
and and losing,
I think can definitely go.
And losing a couple games in the Pac-12, especially they lost like at Stanford. I mean,
yeah,
whatever it happens. They beat UCLA. They're looking. Yeah, they're fine. Good. The only game, and I think we bet on that one, was when Washington State beat them at Arizona. Like I don't remember what happened that game, but
right, it was random. It's okay. I made money off Washington State last night, so it was even for me. So But with Arizona, yeah, they just have a really scary backcourt. I mean, they have their center, like they have really big dudes on their team. Like I think they have 2 7-footers that they rotate. I mean, they're scary defensively, and then they have 3-point shooters all around those guys. So it's a team that I definitely can see making a run.
Are there any Big Ten teams you think will make the Final Four?
Absolutely not. Stay away from the Big Ten. I mean, you could say Purdue, but they're at plus 240, and even then, I mean, it's one and done. So it's like, it's one bad game from Zach Edey. It's one game where he's in foul trouble, and he has to sit for half the game, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just I don't see the value there.
Yeah, if you're gonna take a futures on Purdue, I'd say just go for the championship with that plus 1,000. Like it's not worth it. A plus, I mean, I think even on FanDuel it's only plus 200.
Yeah, I would. It just the value's not there, and they might very well just go to the Final Four, but it's just not worth it.
Now, if I could do a no vote on a future, I would vote against Alabama making the Final Four. I don't know how they're still plus 185. That's ridiculous.
Because I got one of the best players in college basketball who's also a criminal.
Yeah, is he still playing? Like, what's going on with this?
He went off. He scored like, what was it, like 35, 40? I think it was 40 points in their last game, and they won. It was at Boston College. Boston College was an 18-point dog, and Alabama won by 3, but they were down most of that game.
So are they going to? Are they saying like arrest him on the court?
No, they said they can't charge him with anything. So as of right now, they're not. Nothing, is going to happen to him. But it's like a big thing right now that everybody's talking about.
Wait, but I mean, he gave a gun to someone else. I mean, was it like a stolen gun? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's got to be a crime involved.
Well, yeah, that's what I thought immediately. I don't understand how they can't charge him. He literally was complicit. He gave a gun that was a murder weapon. So I mean, we're not lawyers or investigators, but that whole situation just seems really fishy. And their coach had some weird things to say about it too. So I don't know, that the whole situation is just weird.
Yeah. I mean, he gave him in the text, he said he gave him a loaded gun. So, or he gave him I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Well, did you see the interview with Nate Oates, the coach of Alabama?
He just said he's in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, well, like what? So stupid. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, what do you think he was going to use for the gun? Do you think the gun was just like, oh, this is just for your self-defense? Like, I'll just give you the gun.
No, he's not stupid. He knows what's going on. That's why everyone's like what? Like, even I'm sure even his teammates are like, what the fuck? Like, do we even really want to play with this dude anymore? Like.
Oh, so then later he clarified that that the news conference remarks came across poorly.
Oh yeah, because they came across like he knew everything that happened and just didn't care because he's a star player.
That's so crazy, man.
Yeah, the whole situation is just insane.
I don't think he'll be playing by the time tournament time comes around. I honestly think, I think the NCAA, someone's gonna get involved. Either the school, there's going to be like, I bet even maybe the parents, because even the parents are saying, like the parents of the victim are saying it's unimaginable. They're calling out the coach. Like,
well, as far as like think about it, he knew these people. He knew what they were doing. Like he's not like, come on, like there's no way he didn't know that what was about to go down, what the gun was going to be used for. Like he knew those people. He was friends with them. Like. Otherwise, why would he know them and have text in his phone with, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, the whole situation is just so weird.
Sorry about that. I think he's definitely, I think he's going to get, I think it's not going to end well for Alabama. I think the coach is going to get fired, and I think he's going to get, this is not.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Dude, it's just, like, they're still doing, like, hearings, right? It's not, the guy hasn't been convicted of murder yet, right? As far as I know. Yeah,
I think they still have to do the trials and all that.
Yeah, so this is only going to get worse for Alabama. There's no way this is going to get better. Like you can't. This is not a signatures for tattoos or whatever. This is serious criminal. Like the state of Alabama might actually crack down on the university. Like this is serious. Yeah, it
makes no sense. They should have suspended him immediately just from that game and said, we're going to further investigate what happened. Even if he didn't do anything, you still need to figure out 100% what happened.
Yeah, like I'm not saying the NCAA is not a super corrupt organization, but the way to get away with things in the NCAA is by being proactive, by giving suspensions, by punishing like from within, and then the NCAA tends to be more lenient when you actually take it seriously. But for them to do, did they sit him at all?
No, he started. He scored like 40 points, man. He won. He won off.
It's crazy. I just assumed he wasn't going to play. Like I didn't even watch it. I was like, Alabama's done. Like I'm like shocked now seeing these odds. And
I'll read you his stat line. The game went to overtime. He scored 41 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. He shot over 40% or 50% from the field. About like 47% from 3, 7 for 8 from 3 free throw, two blocks, 3 steals. I mean, the dude went off.
Well, if he still stays in the game, I would stay away from him around Final Four weekend because clearly helping people murder people helps him be a great basketball player. So,
right,
he might murder another person on his way up to.
And what's funny is like there was like he was trending on Twitter. There was like 30,000 tweets. And everyone was saying him dropping 40 after like being investigated is cold. Like what? Like what are you guys talking about, dude? This guy's literally an accessory to murder, and these like people are like clapping for him and shit. It's just so like this whole situation is just so stupid.
Yeah. I don't see how it ends well for Alabama. That's the
right. I mean, that's what I've been thinking, but like nothing's been said about it so far, other than the coach and what he said was stupid. That's the only thing I haven't heard anything from the NCAA. I haven't heard anything from like the president of Alabama or whoever the fuck runs Alabama. I haven't heard anything, so I don't know. Do you have any updates pulled up?
I mean, the only thing I saw was that the parents were getting interviewed and saying like, this is ridiculous. He's still playing. So they did do a preliminary hearing, I guess. So that's why. Yeah, they did do So they actually got charged with capital murder, right? It says Miles.
I assume so.
Let's see. So who? Oh, this is pretty crazy. Yeah. So it's 2 guys got charged with capital murder, and then they said they texted, Brandon Miller to bring the gun. So this is, I don't know that. I don't know how more they're not like talking about this more. It just seems crazy. I mean, I guess let's play. I guess it's not really devil's advocate, but let's play the best case scenario for him. Let's say he actually didn't know what the guy was going to use the weapon for, and he's an ignorant fool, and he just said, "Oh, maybe he just needs a gun." But
yeah, like what are you doing giving somebody a gun in the first place? What are you doing with a gun in the first place? Like what? It's just so stupid. Like it's obvious that there was criminal intent with him having this gun. Like.
Okay, and then his attorney said on Wednesday for Brandon Miller, he never touched a gun. He was not involved in this exchange in any way, and never knew that illegal activity involving the gun would occur.
But there were text messages saying that they met up and exchanged the gun.
Yeah, and a police investigator testified during the bond hearing that he was at the scene of the shooting, and he brought the gun to the scene.
Wait, he was at the scene?
That's what it says here.
How is he not arrested? What the heck is what? This. There's a criminal playing basketball right now. Everybody, what the hell?
Yes. Yeah, so Culpepper testified that Miles gave Davis the gun while the two were in the backseat of Miller's car. According to Culpepper, Miles texted Miller. And, oh my gosh, he just clicked off here. And Miller brought Miles' gun to the scene. Oh, so it was Miles' gun, but he texted him and said, "Hey, can you bring my gun to the crime scene?" I mean, obviously, he didn't call it
so what? He picked it up and brought it to him so he could murder somebody. Still, that's a crime.
and Jaden Bradley was there too, another basketball player. He was also at the shooting.
Oh my gosh, there was an article just updated 7 minutes ago about this.
And his attorney said, the Miles attorney said that he provided the gun for protection. And then Davis' attorney said he acted in self-defense. But then the driver of the Jeep said he could hear the guy saying right before firing, "I told you I was going to get you." These guys are the worst criminals, man. Oh, my God.
Well, and did they even say, like, what the motive was? Like, it was just an innocent woman, wasn't it? Like, what was even the motive?
Let's see. I'm not even sure.
Yeah,
Man.
so Brandon Miller and Jaden Bradley are expected to start Saturday against Arkansas as they did Wednesday. This will occur despite pre-trial testimony this week revealing that both were at the scene of a January 15th shootout in the student bar district of Tuscaloosa that resulted in the death of a 23-year-old mother.
So it says the investigators say they believe the shooting was a result of a minor argument that occurred between Davis, Miles, Harris, and Harris's occupants of the car after they encountered each other along the Strip.
Jeez.
Well, why does Alabama have a place called the Strip? That's weird. I thought that was just Vegas, but okay.
I don't know. I don't even. I don't want to go to Alabama. I never want to even touch grass, and I don't want to touch anything in Alabama.
And Miles was the guy that. So the gun belonged to Miles, who was also on the basketball team, but then Davis fired the shot because the Miles guy, he got dismissed from the basketball team right after he got arrested. So the chain of events are. Miles had a gun at home he knew about. So he texted Miller, who was also on the team, and said, hey, bring me the gun. And then he gave it to Davis to shoot the...
Listen to this. At least 11 bullets were fired on a busy street corner in front of popular bars, clubs, and restaurants, most of them by Davis, who police say later told them he was so drunk on tequila at the time he didn't recall anything that happened.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh, man. Yeah, I don't. This is crazy, man.
So then that bar, the bar, then whoever served. Wait, who? So drunk on tequila. If he was at a club and got drunk, then that bartender needs to be charged too, because that's also a crime.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But they kicked the one guy off the team. He just had to get arrested.
Yeah, it's
crazy, man.
They're gonna play them until they can't.
Yeah.
Or that's what it seems like.
I don't know how he said. Wait, asked Miller for ride, and Miles brought his hand. Oh, so he said he left it in the back seat. Further, as I understand, the weapon was concealed in some clothing in the back seat. They said Miller didn't go in the nightclub. He went to a restaurant to eat before Miles later asked him to drive him. And then gave another man. This story just sounds like total BS, man. All these like guys driving different places, and then I don't know.
Yeah, it just sounds
like
really
why
weird.
would they bring a gun in advance if it happened to be because of an argument? Like,
well, the main thing is if you're Brandon Miller, a star in college basketball who is projected to be a top 10 pick this year, what are you doing in this just in this whole situation? Like just stay in your dorm and just fucking do nothing. Like it's so man, people are so stupid.
Honestly, if I was Alabama, I would just I would cut him because I mean, yes, he's like a great player, all that, but I feel like this is going to turn into like a Maurice Clarett situation, man. This guy's going to get arrested with like body armor and like AKs in his car. Like this guy. No, I'm serious. Like, they have those like second chance you things. Like this is the type of thing where he needs to go down to like a community college or he needs to go wherever. He needs to get his shit straight. And then he needs to like see if he's got what it takes to like be a normal member of society, man. Because stuff like this doesn't just happen because, your friends got a little drunk. This is
right.
He's involved with some like criminals, man. These guys are.
I've known a million people who've gotten drunk and nobody fucking pulls out a gun and just starts shooting people. Like people are just so stupid. I swear.
Okay, well, I think we talked enough about that. All right, all right, going on to the XFL. How's that been going? I haven't really been watching it.
Well, I don't even think we were done with our futures.
Oh, we're not with the futures? Okay.
We just got all caught up in that.
Yeah.
But it was good. That was a good convo. But yeah, anything else that I was saying? Yeah, stay away from Alabama. Stay away from Purdue. I mean, Kansas will probably make it to the Final Four.
Yeah, I don't really see much value. I mean, I guess if you, yeah, but they've also. I mean, they've had some games where they've blown it too. But they're definitely one of the top 4 teams. But
who? Kansas?
Yeah.
Well, they have the most quad 1 wins out of any school this year, so that's why I figured they'll probably easily make it to the Final Four. Houston's plus 130 because the Final Four is in Houston. I'm never high on Houston. I mean, they're like in a terrible conference all the time, so What did they? When's the last time they even made it to the championship?
I don't know. They're definitely like the
I feel like they're always overrated
or whatever. Yeah.
Like I don't even remember the last time I saw. Let me see, Houston basketball.
Final Four. They made it in 2021. So was that 2 years ago?
Was that the COVID or was that 2020?
That's the only time they've made it since I've been alive. So
really?
Yeah, let's see. I think that wasn't COVID year. It was it was 2020 to 2021. They were 28-4 that year. They won they won the AAC tournament, and then they made the Final Four. Let me see
Yeah, why is Houston? So they made it to the Final Four in 2021. They made it to the Elite Eight last year. They've gone to the tournament 2 years. They went 2 years in a row. They missed out in 2020, but I don't think they had the tournament right in 2020. So they've gone in 4 straight years. So I mean, I don't. Why is there so much hype on this team? They haven't had any prior success. Like, you want a veteran, and they have no value. So yeah, stay away from Houston too. I don't get that.
Yeah, that's not worth it. I think it's just because of their record is just so good this year. Because what are they this year right now?
I think they've only lost like 2 games.
Yeah.
Or 1 game. Yeah, no, they're 26-2. Yeah, so 2 games.
Yeah, but they got 8 wins in a row. So, they just lost at the right time to just keep getting all the hype built up, because, teams, as they drop a little bit, as they get some losses.
Well, their conference is like,
Dude, and when they played in the semifinals that year against Baylor, they lost by 19 points, man. They got killed 78-59. Like, they just got whomped by. But I guess Baylor was really good that year because Baylor also beat Gonzaga.
And you look at their conference, dude. The second best team is Memphis, which they're good and athletic, but Tulane, Cincinnati, Temple, Wichita State, like what? Like, these teams aren't good.
Yeah, they're like teams that make a run every once in a while when they just happen to make in the tournament. But,
exactly.
I mean, Memphis used to be really good, but they're
getting there with Penny Hardaway as their coach. So I mean, they'll be good again eventually. But it's just they have nobody to compete. I mean, it's just I don't know. Whatever.
Stay away from Houston.
I mean, we're looking at value. Maybe Texas. I mean, I know the Final Four is in Houston, so they won't have to travel far. They're catching. They're great defensively. We know that. Obviously, their coach got fired, so that's kind of a bummer. But offensively, they're catching fire right now. So I have my eyes on Texas. I haven't placed anything other than Creighton, though. So another one
is looking at this. I think Memphis actually isn't that horrible of a pick at plus 3,000.
You think they can make a run?
Yeah, I'm looking at their schedule, man. They only lost to Alabama by 3. They beat A&M. Like, Memphis is a quality team, I feel like.
Yeah, they are, and they only lost. Apparently, I didn't watch the game, but they were sticking with Houston the entire game. I think they only lost that game by like 6.
Yeah, they lost by 8, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Or 8, yeah. Maybe even like Northwestern.
Northwestern. Yeah, they of all the Big Ten teams, Northwest. I mean, they lost last night, but I mean that was I mean, they had the lead. They blew the lead sometimes.
Yeah, and they were on the road.
But you know how the NCAA loves storylines, and it's not like they don't pick the winners or whatever. But you know that and remember too, take all this with like a grain of salt, because the way the regions get announced, some teams can really get screwed by where they're placed in the region.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. A lot of it's just luck where people land.
So
honestly,
maybe if you're
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you're thinking like a Northwestern or a Memphis, like you'll get worse odds, but see how they do in their conference tournaments first. So I mean, the odds will change a little bit, but whatever. It may give you more information about them.
One I really liked was Miami, Florida at plus 1,000. They're probably the best team in the ACC, and their offense, they can score 80, 85, 90 points a game. Like they're automatic. Their offense is so good. Obviously defensively they're not that great, but I mean if that's the one offensive team in this tournament that I could see making a run is Miami.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. It sounds like a good one. They've been slapping teams.
They have. Besides that, St. Mary's at plus 700, something I have my eye on, just because they're a slower paced team that can score and play defense. Besides that, nothing really too crazy. That's pretty much it for me. I mean, maybe Pittsburgh as well as at plus 3,000. They've been pretty good in the ACC as well. But yeah, I think my main ones I like are Creighton and Miami, Florida, and then like Arizona and Texas.
Yeah, like you can get Ohio State at plus 15,000.
They're not even gonna make the tournament.
Yeah, I know, that's hilarious. I just like that plus 15,000 as their highest. So like you see teams like Stanford, they've got BYU and Ohio State both at plus 15,000, and then
I'm on DraftKings. They don't even have Ohio State on here.
Yeah, this is on FanDuel. I don't know how they decide the worst odds.
The
Charleston.
The worst odds on here are Georgia, James Madison, Iona, North Texas, teams that are like on the bubble.
Okay.
But this tournament should be fun. I'm hoping there's a few dogs that go crazy. Should be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a good time, man. And I got days off.
Yeah, I'm jealous you get to go
and
to the Big East tourney.
Yeah. And it makes sense too. I was looking, Selection Sunday is March 12th. So obviously, yeah, that week of March 6th through like 10th and 11th, that's going to be all the tournaments probably.
Okay, perfect.
Now on the Final Four, to reach the Final Four futures, just know that those numbers will change a lot when Selection Sunday comes out for obvious reasons. So.
Oh yeah. Some of these teams could be cut in half.
Yeah, but depending on how you bet, that can also help you. So like, if you've got a team that you didn't think would make it, but now they're the number, or maybe the number 1 seed in the bracket where you've got the number 2 seed going, maybe you got good value now, that number 1 seed. And then, because having both the 1 and 2 seed in the region at like better odds than they're at currently, it's always a plus.
Should we pick a squad ride for the tourney right now, or should we wait when we get closer to the conference tournaments?
Yeah, I think let's wait. Yeah, let's do one going into the conference tournaments, and then we'll do like a final one, the Selection Sunday, or at least a show then for like.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so we were going to finish recording after I went to this Knicks thing last night on Friday night, but we just had schedule conflicts, so Austin couldn't make it back. So I'll just end this episode as it is with the great content. I hope you guys follow us on Twitter, see our picks, and we'll have another episode out tomorrow with some more locks. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Check me out at Twitter at bankroll_Bill, and Austin can be found at Austin Sportchick. Our email for the podcast is losingstreakpodcast@gmail.com, and our voicemail line is 646-494-7185. I'm going to post this on the YouTube, so make sure you subscribe there. We'll listen to calls live on air, and I would ask Austin if he had anything to add right now. He does not. I'll wait through my last word when we do our next episode, but I'm glad you guys listened to this. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was a lot of fun making it, and see you later.